Hello Flosstube, and welcome to my channel, Halloween edition. If this is your first time meeting me, my name is Sadie, and you have come across my channel that I talk about a lot of things cross-stitching. And for all you guys returning, thanks for coming back. Happy October! It is October 2nd, and I finally got my Halloween tree up, as you can see behind me. I have been wanting to do this for a while and finally pulled the gun, got the tree after all the Christmas sales in January, got patient, and I finally did it. So I'll probably be out here for at least a couple videos because I am wanting to show it off. So we'll be out here in my living room. Got all my stitchy stuff up here anyway, so it wasn't that hard to move things around. Today, we are going to talk about mainly whips and a start. And so the start, I hope I get to finish by the time you see the next video, because it's something I have to wear for the Queen City Stitch Retreat. So I'll be excited to show you what I started with that. And then I'll get to show you my whips. So first I'm going to start with the Stitch for Pride SAL that I've been working on. I got September's motif done, and now I just have to work on October's. That came out yesterday. So let's see. So this is it. It's kind of interesting seeing the lights from the tree show up on it. I kind of poked myself with a needle. Give me 1 second. It just wants to poke me good enough that it wants to bleed. We will keep moving forward. Alright. So, this is all of it. And the one that I got done was that butterfly wing, which actually wasn't too hard. It was just the wing and that little mini butterfly. The back stitching was for the antenna. Other than that, I was talking about it at the Crafty Grimalkin because they were having a stitchy night last night, and I was just telling them that when I first started this, I had to accept the fact that it was going to be all crazy colors, and I'm just vibing with it. I think it's looking good. The next one is going to be the colors picked out were red, so I'm going to have to find something that is like in between that watermelon red from Pirate Robin and this variegated orangey red color that came from Night Stalker's Calling. I know I've got something in my stash, so I'll figure that out. But I'm really happy with how it's looking. The next one is going to be coming here. So it's actually like a pipe, tobacco pipe with smoke coming out. So the pipe is going to be horizontal, and then the smoke is coming up vertically. So the 20 Stitches was very smart in figuring out the motifs for that, which leads me to think that, okay, there's going to be another one in this middle space and one up here to be able to fill in that middle piece. So I'll get started on October's either sometime next week or after the Queen City Stitch Retreat. So I'll work on that. And then the next one that I did a little bit of work on was on my Happy Fan sampler. It is a sampler that I and Maggie from Kitschy Whips created and designed. So I will show my progress for it. I am doing the monochromatic version of it, and Maggie is going to do the colored version. So it just worked out really well. So it's all purple. Let me see if I can help with. can kind of see. So I've gotten the fans in, and I'm working on Mira's Norige back there. And I was also putting in the Rumi's demon patterns up top. So I like that it's not... You can kind of see it. It definitely from afar, like from back here, it definitely looks like it's ghosting. But at least when I get close enough with you guys, you can kind of see the words coming through. But I knew that was going to happen, and that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted something that was subtle, and then you just have to get up closer and take a look. I'm surprised at how fast I've been getting through this for me, because it is a design that that I put together. Again, it's my third design that I've done, but this is the one that I've actually wanted to pick up and be able to be able to want to stitch. I think it's because of the way that it is like sampler style, and there's enough space, negative space coming through, that I feel like more motivated, and it kind of feels like other people's cross stitches where I just go from one piece to another. I don't have to think too much about, I don't have to think too much about whether or not a color is working or whether or not the space is filled in appropriately. I think the other two, I'm still working on whether the colors have been appropriately spaced out, whether or not it makes sense. So I'm happy that with this one, I'm actually enjoying the stitching process. That is happy fans. Let's see if I can put my needle back in. That decided to puncture me. Okay. Next one I've been working on is Aries. And I am so close. I'm close to getting it done. At least with the stitching. But it has to get done in the next couple weeks, because I want to be able to show this on the brag table completed at the retreat. So, this is where I got all of them. You guys know I always like showing them off. And then we'll do a close-up of Aries. So, she is looking so good. Here, I've been mainly working on that bottom border. Been filling in that middle badge area where the Aries sign is going to be. And then the border that's on on her arm side, I have to repeat that border on the opposite side. And then I gotta bring down that back stitching border from up top. I don't have to do too much back stitching, just the symbol in that bottom badge. I gotta write Aries out on the face side of her, and then all the beading. So all that empty space that you see around her head, bodice, it's all beading. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, they look so good. So here you can also see how Leo and Aries are now practically aligned with each other. So I'm really glad that I didn't freak out too much at them being asymmetrical and that they actually lined up. Excited. I'm excited. I'm currently now kind of in that battle of, okay, I need to get Aries done, but I also need to get this next start of mine done. So I'll show this one off. This is my new start, and it is going to be a finish at some point, but it is Midnight Meow by Nora Corbett on the Queen City Stitch Retreat hoodie. So here it is. So there, this is the whole hoodie, and the goal that I have is for the cat from Midnight Meow to be in the middle of the queue. So if I just go in really close, that's essentially the cat's feet, like the cat's bottom body. And then I'm just working my way up And I'm hoping, I believe if I counted right, he is going to end around here. And then his wings will come out on either side. And I'm trying to decide on, I'll decide once I get to the wings whether or not they're going to come outside of the queue or are they going to go behind the queue. So I'll see like how far he goes up and then how far of the wings go from the middle queue to the outside. But this is my goal. I have to get it done. So and it wasn't too bad. And it's not a lot of stitches. I think when I saw it on the Facebook group for the retreat, that it was probably around 2,200 stitches, which I thought is super doable. Some stitches I'm not doing at the very bottom, like the tail and stuff, because I want it to fit within the queue of the sweatshirt. So I know that I'm not going to be doing the full 2,000 or so stitches, but if we say it's about that much, that's really not a lot of stitches. So if I can just do my hyper focusing that I do, crank this out, this should definitely be done by next week. And then likely I'll put some like interfacing on the back that I can iron on and then give it a wash and see how it turns out. But that's my surprise start. I knew that I wanted to put a cross-stitching piece on the hoodie. Like, I was thinking hoodie versus long sleeve versus t-shirt. I love hoodies, and so I wanted to get that. And then, right, I was trying to think if one of the, like, Bewitching Pixies would have worked, or any of the other Nora Corbetts, kind of the smaller ones. But I wanted it incorporated in the sign. So when I saw that the retreat, that Nora was, like, kind enough to allow that pattern to be out, just for people to stitch, I thought, okay, it's a perfect size, and we'll go for it. So, I'm excited for that. I'll definitely be working on that tonight. That's going to be my get to work stitch. And it's not that many colors. I mean, it's a lot of 310. And then maybe 3 other colors. They're all grays. And then there's only 2 beads. And those I'll have to see if putting in the beads is going to work, or if I just switch it for... I could either switch it for a metallic, which seems terrible if I'm going to have to put it through the wash multiple times, or if I just stick with the beads. We'll see. So those are pretty much all the projects I worked on. Not a lot of finishes, but I've been kind of keeping up with at least the things that I've been enjoying right now. I definitely have my plans for October, and I'll show you the patterns that, like the whips that I want to work on. So one of them is Mothman, that you guys have been hearing about, but I for sure want to get it done by October. Like, I feel like it is a perfect spooky, like supernatural type of creature to finish up. So I'll have a picture here and my wonderful start of just a few stitches. It's really just like super tiny. But I am doing it on, this is 28 count London Fog by Atomic Ranch. And I liked it because it looks modeled like the moon. And I wanted Mothman to kind of act like he's got the moon behind him. So I think it's a beautiful piece of fabric. And with the size of what Mothman would be, I'm hoping that I'll have like a little left over at the bottom that I can use as a scrap for some other small project. That is Mothman. And then the other one that I put in my original designs to finish up was Shake Senora. And I feel like that's kind of a lofty goal considering all the other things that I want to work on. But I think I will try to make it a priority this month because I do want to get it done. But this is what I've got with her so far. I'll put it like that so you can see. So I've been kind of slogging at the spotlight that is on Lydia. And then I've been slowly working outside. So right, like getting the window here, spider over here, and starting with the lyrics of the song. So I'm almost there. This is already the end of the spotlight. So these are the ends. I just have to work my way up. And I've been working also, I don't know if you can see, like these areas here have been stitched black. And that was kind of hard when I was working on it. Oh, it's black with the navy blue. Yeah, the navy blue is totally ghosting on this. But the black is going to cover up some of the checkered pieces in the skirt. And it's going to be up in her cardigan. So it should give a little bit better contrast. But I need pretty good light to be able to make sure that I don't miss any of the spots in between the actually navy blue stitched and the fabric color. But I want to get it done because I would like to hang it with I have another piece that I did from the Witchy Stitcher years ago, and I finally FFO'd it last year, but it was a quote from Silence of the Lambs. It was and that's a movie I like. There are certain classic horror movies that I enjoy, and I want to be able to have a wall of cross-stitch kind of fan art of some of the classic horror movies. So that's what I got one done with the Witchy Stitcher. This is my second one, and I want to have a wall of that. So the goal is to get that one done. And then the other thing that is likely going to be happening is Noctiflora decided to come out with another stitch-along, and I told myself I was not going to do it, but I didn't know what it was. I was just like, I'm not going to do it. And when I saw what it was, I couldn't resist. It was, she's calling it Terrorarium Toadghouls, and they look like they're all mushrooms. And guys, I can't resist the mushrooms, especially if they're gonna be creepy mushrooms. I couldn't hold myself back. So I got fabric. I haven't kitted it with the DMC. I'm just planning to stitch it with whatever DMC I find as I go. But I think it's gonna look so adorable. I think the called for is like a dark mottled gray. I think there's a little bit of green, but I did want the mushrooms to kind of stand out a bit. I think they're going to be some pretty funky colors. So I got this printed fabric from Fabric Flare, and it is supposed to be like a watercolor type stain, but I thought it was perfect because it kind of looked like grungy, swampy earth. That's kind of what I was going for this. So this is the piece, or the fabric. So the pattern itself is going to be vertical. So I would do more like this, and I am excited to start it. I'm trying to think which way I would go. Likely I would probably go this way. Yeah, I'd go this way. Let those lines creep up. And so, granted, I want to start that one. And she already started. She already put out part 1. And they're super cute. They're, if I'm remembering, I think the mushrooms themselves are like chanterelles. I definitely could be wrong. But they're like chanterelles with teeth. They're on the verge of looking like a Venus flytrap. And I enjoy carnivorous plants as well. So I'm already like in love with what's going on. But this is where I was like, okay, if I'm going to start Toadghouls, then I do have to get some good work on the Vampirum SAL that I started like last year. So I will show you where I am with it because I haven't touched... I think I touched it once this whole year, so I want to be able to put much more work on it. And this is what I've got so far. Woo. Okay, we're going to do it like this. And so I've got the upper part. I love the words. Like the dripping blood on them, so cool. So I'm on part 4, I believe, and I think there's 6 or 7 parts. So I'll bring it down. So it's kind of in the shape of a coffin. So I still need to work down. So I say, okay, I will work on this one as I'm trying to start Toadghouls. That way I get to put work on both of them. I feel like it's a similar thing that people do with the Lola Crow SALs, where, right, if you want to do all of them, you go, okay, I need to finish one before I start the other, or work on both of them at the same time. But I want to start that one, so I'll work on those. I'm seeing some people doing some of those game stitch-alongs where you follow a show or you follow a game show, and then you put the contestants with a pattern of yours, whether it's a new start or a whip, and then there are point rules of how many stitches you do per, whether like a contestant gets eliminated, wins like the mini round, wins the episode round, kind of things like that. And I think it's Jessie Does Stuff on Instagram where she does a lot of those types of game shows. The ones that seem to be really popular, I think they just did Big Brother, the Great British Bake Off is another one, and she did like a Survivor one as well. So people definitely are going for the Great British Bake Off show, which are not really my things. But I thought, it seems cool. I would like to try it out. So I think I'm going to try it after I finish with the Queen City Stitch Retreat. Potentially. I may do like an episode of it to trial it beforehand. But I would like to do it more for me, like things that I like to watch myself are Project Runway. I like a lot of the fashion game shows. Ink Master. I enjoy watching tattoos, them being done, so I would do it for that. Or the other one that I really liked when I was young was it America's Next Top Model. And so anything that has to do with like fashion, art, I enjoy those. So I saw on whatever platforms that I have, I want to do one of the Project Runway seasons that have come out. I already picked out like the projects with the contestants, is I think for season 21 that they have. And I'll see when I start it. Like I said, I'll probably either do it in a couple weeks or next week when I've got a little more time, and just see how it plays with me. So I will talk about it next time, whether I've started it or I haven't, and I will show you what projects I've picked out. Because I'm hoping that doing it that way, yeah, I get to touch on a few more projects that I haven't gotten to this year. Alright, I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great start to your October. And if you're going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat, I will see you there. And I hope we have a lot of fun. And if not, then we will get to see each other again in a couple of weeks. Have a good night, guys. Bye.